Hey guys, today I got the Amazon Basics articulating TV wall mount, which is made, it says, between 22 to 55 inch TVs, and we're going to do a little unboxing here and see what all comes with it. But basically I've got this 43 inch QLED TV that I was using in my bedroom, and I also had a 49 inch that I had been using in my living room until I replaced it with a LG Nano Cell that I bought recently. So this one was sort of like a fish out of water for a minute there. And I was thinking I'd go ahead and mount it on my kitchen wall over here, so when I eat breakfast or dinner or whatever, and if I want to watch YouTube or whatever I want from the dinner table, I can just watch stuff here instead of doing it on my phone or whatever. So I bought this wall mounting kit. It was like 30 bucks. I'll do a link to the product page if you guys are interested in purchasing something like this. But you can see it comes with a set of instructions. Probably has something along the lines of a picture, like a little installation guide on how to set it up. I doubt it's terribly complicated, but it does come with a lot of options because it's designed to work with a bunch of different possible TVs, and it's an articulating arm, so it'll mount to the wall, but the TV will, I could move it a little bit back and forth depending on where you know, like whatever makes a good angle, you can fiddle around with it. This thing's pretty heavy. I gotta say, this thing's, it feels like it's maybe about 8 to 10 pounds. It's got a good amount of weight to it. Looks like that's what comes in the main part of the box. I'll set that on the floor for a minute because that thing has got some weight. Sorry. And we've got all kinds of different goodies here. Oh, it comes with a level, it figures. I bought one already and already did a spot on my wall where I want to set it up. I bought a stud finder and a level, and it looks like it came with a level, so that's nice that it includes that though. So don't buy one, it comes with one. Looks like we've got some different various pieces here. I think these connect to the corners in case you have a bigger TV. Like, it allows you to reach the VESA mounts depending on how far apart they are on the back of the television set. But it comes with, I think, probably 4 of those. There's 2, 3, and looks like a 4th one right there. So you can expand it out as was kind of shown in the original picture we saw. Let me see here, bring that back up so you can see, but like you see in the corners of it there, that's what those are, to expand out and give you the ability to connect it to the back of a TV depending on how big your television set is. I don't know if mine will need to use that or not, but that's what those are for. And then we've got some kind of tightening device, I think. It looks like it's for like hex nuts or something, so you can tighten them with that, I guess. That's cool. So it sort of includes tools that you might need. And we've got mounting screw hardware, and I don't know what this is for. Some kind of a collar or something. Maybe it's for cable management of some kind. Something like that. You can see on the bottom, like I said, this is like an arm that mounts to the wall, but you can see on the bottom of the, like right there, that's what that looks like. I don't know what the hell that's for, but again, it probably is for cable management or something. So they're not hanging down quite so much. And we've got just a bunch of different screws and different kinds of washers and different sorts of mounting hardware here. Got washers and spacers and different kinds of things here. I don't even know what half of this stuff is for or how it applies to doing this, but I'm going to have to go through the manual and look at it and then figure out how it mounts to the back of the TV and then how you're supposed to put it all on the wall. So this could take me a little while, but I'll go ahead and look at some of the documentation and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so this is pretty straightforward so far. My TV is only large enough that these corners are going to be what I use to screw this plate into the back of my TV. It's not big enough that I need those extension arms that we looked at a minute ago. These points right here, I did have those screws in there. So let me get a little closer here if this helps. This focus on this tablet's not very good. I apologize. It's just the best I can do until I get a different camera or get a newer phone sometime or something, because the phone I've got, like, I can't transfer files off of it anymore. There's something wrong with it. It's just like something wrong with the file system. Maybe if I did a factory reset, it might fix it. I don't know. I haven't tried that yet. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So remove those, and you can take this and slide it right out. It's got like a lip. See? It's got these lips that allow it to sit and connect into this, and then you can screw it back into place when you want. But now that I've removed it, I think the way that this is going to work is I'm going to put it on the back of the TV,
And then I can mount this on the wall, and then when I'm ready to put it on there, all I've got to do is lift up the TV and set it on this, on the lips basically, or on this bracket, however you want to pronounce it. And then because this gives you such amount of room to move, I can turn the TV a bit and I can screw it back in and it should stay put. But like I said, this is a nice little tool that they give you with it. This pulls these things right off, no trouble whatsoever. This is the back mounting plate, and you can just pull that forward, and then you've got 3 points to screw it into the wall. I just need to figure out with the instructions which screws I'm supposed to use and then get this thing started mounting it into the wall. As I said, I already used my stud finder yesterday to plot out where the stud starts and stops, and I use the leveler to hopefully it'll be straight enough when I put it on there. But that's what I'm going to work on next, is figure out what screws I need to do. I'm going to have to do that with a hand screwdriver. I don't have a drill. I don't do stuff like this often enough to warrant owning a drill. Maybe I should get one of these days. You get the idea though. So that's next step, is getting this thing on the wall, and then we can, like I say, mount this to the back of the TV, lift the TV, and place it on here. I think once I get it on there, then I'll remove the feet, because like I said, this thing gives you a pretty good amount of articulation away from the wall, and I can take maybe the legs off the TV after it's already been mounted, because otherwise it's like I have no way to stand it up if the feet aren't on it, and then I'll have to like land its face or something. I don't want to risk damaging it. So that'll be our next step here, is to get this on the wall. Be back in a second once I've got that done.
All right, so you can see I used my stud finder to locate the center of the stud up here, and then I got the center holes I figured out using the actual mounting bracket itself. So you can see, like, this has got the 3 holes on it, and I just made places on the marked pen spots on the wall, and I got the top and bottom one started. I don't have a drill. All I've got is, like I say, a screwdriver, and then I've got that tool that they provided, this thing right here. So I kind of just did a couple hammer taps to start them, and now I'm getting them just kind of started enough. I'm going to take them back out here and then try to get at least one of them, tightened against that bracket, and then I can do the rest of them. I'll do the top and the bottom first, and then get the center one in there. So we'll get it mounted here in a second, then we can continue. But that's pretty much the process I'm using. So a drill would have been easier, probably just to start the hole or get it halfway in there or something like that, and then I could just screw something bigger in, like, with a smaller thread just to get it started. But this seems to be working. I've done stuff like this before. It's just a little bit more manually labor intensive, but it'll work. Be back in a minute. All right, we got it on the wall. The bottom screw ended up breaking off in the wall. Like, they're not real high quality screws, or I just got bad luck with that particular screw, but whatever. I seem to have wonderful luck with things like that. But that said, it is on there. The top and the center screws are both in there tightly. It does feel like it's on there pretty sturdy, so I'm going to risk it and hope that that's enough support and that it doesn't start to come off the wall. I ended up having to go over to the hardware store and actually get a ratchet set, because the tool that came with it is pretty cheaply made, and it was starting to slip off there, and you really just can't get enough torque with it once you get far enough into the process to get them fully into the wall. But that part's done anyway. The next step is going to be mounting the back plate on the TV, and then trying to get it to hang on here successfully, which shouldn't be impossible, but might be somewhat of a challenge. So we'll see if I can do it without breaking anything. Won't that be nice? Be right back in a minute. Okay, so we got the back plate mount on there. Interestingly enough, you don't use 4 of the same size screws. Maybe if I'd read the instructions, I'd figure these things out. I don't know if it says that or not, but I'm sure it varies from one TV to the next. But the top were these smaller screws, and then the bottom 2 required something twice as long. It's just the way that this thing is kind of at a curve, and so the bottom 2 screw points are deeper in, but it's on there pretty sturdy. I guess the next trick is to try to mount it on that arm and see if it falls off the wall, or if I break it, or if it successfully survives the process. Hopefully I don't break it. That'd be sort of shitty. All right, be back in a minute. All right, well, that was kind of nerve-wracking, but we got it up there. Basically, the way I did it was, from where I'm standing at now, behind the mount, facing the direction it is, I lifted up the TV facing away from me so that the back plate was facing towards me, and slid it up kind of in this direction, like coming like slip up over this, and then I screwed it back into place here with the 2 bottom screws, and it seems like it's on there pretty well. The next step will just be to take off the feet and plug it in and make sure everything works correctly, but it looks like it's on there pretty well, and I should be able to move around and hopefully not. Yeah, I think you get the idea. Now this, it does have these little, again, the focus on my camera sucks. I'm sorry. It's just not focusing with this shit. I'm trying to get it to work here. Hold on. I don't know. Whatever. There's screws here and like a little space for it to move back and forth on both sides, which I think you can loosen if you want to tilt the screen forward or back a little bit. I probably won't mess with that. That just feels like you're asking for it to fly off forward or something. So probably not going to screw with that. But hold on. Let me see if I can. I don't know what the hell is up with this focus on this stupid thing. All right. Well, I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully that made sense. I'm sorry the picture is probably not very good. Yeah. Let's see if we can turn that a little bit. You can kind of see what I'm driving at here. There you go. Okay, that finally focused in. So you can see where those screws are at right here. You can loosen that, and then you can tilt forward or tilt back just a little bit, depending on the orientation of the screen and your desire. Like if you were putting it higher up on a wall, for example, in like a bar, or in this case in my kitchen, you'd be able to tilt it forward a little bit so people could look up at the proper angle and still see the screen correctly. So that's what those are for. But I don't want to screw with it because I'd be afraid that it would fall off and the thing would flop forward and I would break it. And I think it's pretty good the way it is anyway. I'm going to get these legs off there and hook everything up, and we'll make sure it works. Be right back. And just like that, we're up and running. We have it mounted. I did end up messing around with the alignment of it a little bit. It was like, even though the arm itself on the wall is correctly mounted, and level, the TV ended up not being level because they have that on that mounting plate in the back where you have like the different adjustment screws. You just end up having to play around with that to get it to straighten out a little bit. And then if like for example, I've got that arm, that articulating arm, pretty much flush with the wall right now, so the TV is up against the wall. But if I wanted to if I tried to swing the arm the other direction, so it ends up like kind of in the corner over there, it's out of alignment again, and you have to play with the screws. It's like it just doesn't stay straight, depending on, like I say, what orientation the TV's in. And I did even screw with those ones to tilt it forward just a little bit. But you only have to turn the one on the left-hand side, and then it has like a little block of its own, so like the TV can't fall forward. It's protected. There's like a block behind the screw or a bolt that keeps it from going too far forward. So you just like loosen it slightly, and then you can tilt it forward or back, and then you tighten it back up. So it wasn't a big deal. I would advise people doing this as a two-man job. I just did it by myself because I'm the only one here, and it's not a particularly big TV. It's only 43 inches. I had sort of planned to try to do this with my 49-inch, and I'm glad I didn't, because that would have been physically difficult, at least. I don't know if I could have done it or not, just because it would have been awkward, not so much for the weight of it. But that said, if anybody has any questions, ask in the comment section below. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I just do kind of random stuff around the place. I upgrade my PC on a regular basis. I do electronics stuff, and now I'm kind of doing things like this with a little bit more with the hardware side of stuff. But again, appreciate you watching. Have a great one. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.